because of the denialism and the downplaying going on, and for the reasons Rich just stated. They're horrific. A father scooping up his 2 young sons to run to their outdoor bomb shelter. The 3 had apparently been in their beds when the attack unleashed early in the morning. They were still in their underwear. Moments after they enter the shelter, a hand appears on screen tossing a grenade into the shelter after the family. The father dies. The boys exit severely wounded, covered in his blood, they believe. Dad's dead. It wasn't a prank, one says as they run back to their home. I know, I saw it, responds his brother. Why am I alive? Another terrorist uses his victim's phone to call his parents. Dad, I killed 10 with my bare hands. Please be proud of me, Dad. Their blood is on my hands. Let me speak to Mom. Like a kid coming home with an A on his report card. And the reporting goes on, and I'm sure we will see the full 43-minute video at some point detailing all of it. This is what Israel is up against. And yet almost immediately we went to, well, free Palestine. Israel's an occupier. Well, I mean, you just want to skip right over that this was not some conventional war in which military targets were selected. These were 7-year-old girls under tables begging for their lives who were shot to death or burned to death or worse.
Right. And I think that's, at least for me, the key. And that's why it's important to relate these stories, as harrowing as they are, because they obviate the debate over whether or not the grievances of many Palestinians are legitimate. Now, I'm not especially friendly towards the charter of Hamas, as you might expect. But if I were, there would be no justification for this sort of behavior. There is no link between whatever academic argument you can make and this sort of behavior. I mean, let's take an easy one, an easy historical example, the resistance to Nazi Germany. I'm from England originally. We were alone for a while. It seemed likely that Britain was going to be invaded and conquered by this great evil. The British government did not do that in Germany. The British government did not go in and start killing children and throwing hand grenades at families and gouging out people's eyes and beheading babies and so forth. So whatever your view of the situation in the Middle East, and again, I'm not accepting the premise because I think Israel has a right to exist and is a civilizational outpost, but whatever your view of that is irrelevant. People walking around in quads in universities with signs saying Free Palestine or making abstracted arguments need to reckon with what was done here, which is absolutely divorced from the overarching questions and needs to be condemned as such.
You mean resistance? Is that what you mean? That's how they want to characterize it.
Well, sure. I mean, I just think it needs to be said over and over and over again that the debate over the geopolitical question is totally irrelevant when we are talking about this sort of behavior. I mean, in the United States, where we had a great evil in slavery, Abraham Lincoln rejected the actions of John Brown because he said this is not how we will engage with, and that was a genuine problem. And so I'm so bored of reading academics saying, well, look at this, which happened in 1987, or look at this border dispute. No. It's important that we acknowledge all of these great, barbaric acts because they make it clear the motivations of the people who staged them. There is nothing that can be said that could lead to the acknowledgement or justification or acceptance of what Hamas did.
Yeah, so correct. There's resistance and there's resistance, right? Resistance, you can write, come up with pamphlets you spread around, you can write newspaper articles, you can even wage a war of insurgency where your fighters shoot and engage in acts of war against the other side's fighters. Right. This is something totally different. I will say, though, unfortunately, human history is that when you have young men in a situation where all the rules are off and they consider the other side bestial, this is the kind of acts that they engage in. Shelley is absolutely right about the British, not doing it to the Germans. Well, the Russians may not have bayoneted babies, but they raped their way, all the way to Berlin, which is why it's very important to, one, have a society that imposes and communicates civilized norms to the entirety of its population about the certain things you don't do as a human being. And very, very importantly, have rules and guardrails around its soldiers and how they behave themselves. And that's what we have. That's what Israel has. If a U.S. soldier, an Israeli soldier, did anything even remotely not even coming close to what Hamas fighters did here, but just anywhere near it, they'd be in the dock, there'd be a trial, and they'd be in jail for the rest of their life. Instead,
that's right.
These animals are celebrated by their society.
That's right. And Rich, so we go through these details. Here's just a couple more, because they're also, these Hamas defenders, denying that Hamas terrorists would ever rape a woman. I guess the beheaded babies thing, yeah. But we wouldn't rape anybody, because that's against the Hamas charter. That's against the Quran. There's been so much evidence of it. Here's just one from that forensic report. No, this actually is from the video. In a clip, a woman tries to decide if a partially burned corpse is her family member as the dead woman's head is mutilated. The dead woman's dress is pulled up to her waist and her underpants have been removed. Okay. Then there's the Major General Mickey Edelstein says, we have evidence of rape, but we cannot share it, declining to elaborate. Further, back to the Trey Yingst reporting today on the interrogation of the Hamas leader. The guy says, we were told by commanders to behead Israelis and to cut their feet off that day on October 7th. He said the commanders told us we can do whatever we feel like doing, that this is a suicide mission. We probably shouldn't plan on coming back. He said the commanders told them, step on the heads of the civilians, behead them, do whatever you feel like, and went on, as we said in the intro, to compare favorably to ISIS. He agreed. We are like ISIS. We burned, we slaughtered, we beheaded people. We became like animals. We did things humans do not do. Hopefully the memo will get out to these protesters who continue to deny that Hamas did any of this stuff. Well, as autumn settles in, the Christmas decorations have already made their grand entrance. But before we allow the shopping stress to take over, take a moment to think about this. Many families have decided to embrace experiences and family gifts instead of the frenzy of individual shopping. Now is the perfect time to order the ultimate family gift, and that is a Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas. A Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas combines the benefits of a pool and a hot tub. Michael Phelps swim spas come in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. Installation can take less than a day, and since it's heated, you can use it year-round in any climate. Michael Phelps swim spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas. That's the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. Order yours today. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK to save $1,000 on a Michael Phelps swim spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. Masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.